All right, what's up guys? I'm gonna show you in this video a strategy on SPY or SPX that works extremely well. Made me about $800 today. Quickly show you right here. I literally said this is what happens when you have a plan. By the way, this Discord is completely free. It has 6 different courses inside it that I made. Scanning, supply demand, market structure, a whole bunch of stuff. I'll leave that in the description for you guys. Again, completely free. But for now, let's go ahead and look at SPX and SPY and show you guys the trade that I took and exactly what it looks like for the strategy that you can use for yourself. All right, so let's dive into it. Now, SPX and SPY. I'm going to look at an SPX chart just because I have a few random levels on SPY. To be honest, you don't need any levels for any of this. Okay, it's very, very simple. Here's what I saw that maybe you get in this trade and why I got in, why I took it, and how you can do it for yourself. So, the basis of this trade really comes down to market structure, okay? It's very important that you understand market structure, basically trend, okay? If you can do this, you can make a lot of money simply trading SPX. Now, market opened right here. If we look at the beginning of the day, first 30 minutes or hour or so, you can see it's very clear that price was in a downtrend. Price kept going lower, 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 all right? Now, if I told you to look at this chart, just like this action here, and I said, wait for price to tell you what it's going to do, okay? That's like the key of really the strategy. It's just waiting for price to tell you what it's going to do, right? Now, from this entire section here, if we take a look, I don't even know what kind of rectangle this is. This section here, right, we can see that price is very clearly in a downtrend. We go low, small pullbacks, right? We pull back right into supply, make a new low, pull back right into supply again, just like this. Make a new low, pull back into supply just like this. And then wait, we end up breaking supply, okay? Now, when I say wait for price to tell you what it wants to do, this is what I'm talking about. This move right here. Really want you guys to study this, okay? This move right here. Now, what does this tell us? When you see a strong move, and by strong, I mean a move that is fast, okay? Price action, it really comes down to speed. It's what a lot of people tend to kind of misforget. Speed of price is really what you want to look at. That really determines how strong price action is. Now, if we look here, we can see price came down. We took out this low. We actually stop hunted it, right? So you can imagine there's a lot of people who are long here. Price came out. We took out that stop. We ended up rallying higher. Now, stick with me for a moment, okay? It's all going to make a lot of sense. But when price eventually made this move here, what does that tell us, right? That tells us that buyers are now in control, right? For this entire day, price was going down, right? We were in a very, very clear downtrend. We were not making higher highs or higher lows. We were making lower lows and lower highs. And it wasn't until this move, just this quick, what is this, like 10 minutes of price action, right? 9 minutes of price action, where we saw a complete shift in trend, a complete shift in control, right? And what I mean by that is not only did we make a very strong move up, and by strong, again, I mean fast, but we also were able to break this high. And this is a very, very important high, okay? Because it's a strong high, okay? And you need to be able to understand the difference between strong highs and weak highs. It's very important when learning market structure, right? Because you could have said, Jordan, well, look, this high right here, we broke that high. So why wouldn't you assume that's a change in trend? Why wouldn't you assume to start going long here? Because you have to understand weak highs versus strong highs, okay? And again, I have an entire course on this, market structure, in the Discord, completely free. I'll leave the link in the description, so go check that out after this video. But knowing that this was a strong high, and knowing that price was able to break that strong high, that tells me that buyers are now in control, right? The people who bought down here were stronger than the sellers up here. And because of that, you simply just wait for the pullback. Okay, so very simple trend. You wait for price to form a trend. You wait for a strong high to form. You wait for price to break that strong high. You buy the pullback and take the next leg higher. Okay, all you're doing is waiting for price to break like this, get the pullback, take the next leg higher. Okay, now you can see price came pretty close to my stop. Okay, so I ended up getting in. Actually, I ended up getting long here preemptively, but you take the pullback, right? Put your stop right at the low, target this high liquidity, target the gap fill up here, right? Really solid trade. Now, here's what you got to understand. This is key, okay? You need to use logical stops. This is very important, especially with SPX, right? If price breaks this high, what does that tell us? Again, it tells us that buyers here are strong, right? This is where buyers stepped in to drive price all the way up here. Now, when price comes back down, it's going to tell us exactly what happens. It's going to tell us if A, these buyers here are strong, and if they are, which we can tell by price was able to take out supply, then that should tell us that they should defend that area. So if price comes back down, you can expect buyers to step in. Now again, this is all that trading is, right? We're not here to say price is going to go to the moon. I'm not here to predict what's going to happen. All I'm doing is taking the probabilities in my favor. And what I mean by that is I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, if the probability is that the buyers here are strong, then there's a good chance that if price comes down to it, they're going to defend that area and not let price go below it, right? Because that wouldn't make sense. They want to keep their entry there. They want price to go, they want to hold it and move it higher, right? So if that's the case, right, then you have a good trade, right? The odds are in your favor. The probability is going to work out for you. And when you understand that, and then you combine it with setting up a good risk reward, and you combine it with getting in a good options play, whether that's a good spread, whether that's at the money, in the money, right? If you're smart with options, again, you can make a lot of money with this stuff. You simply wait for price, and you see that buyers defended it. That's true. They bought it, and we ended up taking price back to a new high, right? And then you can go ahead and target this high here. You can go ahead and target this high here, and so forth, right? And I'm not saying here, look, we're going to move all the way up. I'm not saying these buyers who bought down here are going to take price 50 points higher. No, right? We're just catching a piece of the move, right? Even if you bought back here, you wait, maybe you got in a little early on the pullback and bought here, right? Maybe you missed all of this. Maybe you wanted triple confirmation. You wanted to see, price really react off of this bottom and see that they defended it again. And then you catch this move here. Then you catch this one, right? Maybe you're just going for a quick scalp off this 1 minute demand, right? Going for a nice 2-hour trade right here. Whatever it is, all you're doing is taking the probability in your favor, and you can simply do this trading SPX, trading SPY, using options without any indicators, right? There's no indicators on my chart. I don't even have any levels on my chart, no lines. Now, when I typically trade, my exact strategy, I like to have more confirmations. So I do have a few other levels that I look at, a few other things I look at. If you want to learn more about that, I'll leave a link in the description below for that as well, free training. But put it simply, you don't necessarily need all that. It is going to increase your favor. It is going to increase your odds. But simply just using trend and market structure on SPY on a 1 minute chart, like if you can understand trend and who's in control, you can make a lot of money. And that's exactly what I did to end up making about $800 today. Okay. So really, really simple plan, guys. Really hope you enjoy this. Check out that free training below. Check out that Discord as well. It's completely free. I have 6 courses in there. I'll probably add some more in there down the line. I might even make it a paid group. So I'd just get it now if it's still free by the time you're watching this. So that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, leave a comment down below if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all inside the next video.